Some of you may remember the sing-song, I went to the animal fair, birds and the beasts were there, the old baboon in the light of the moon was combing his auburn hair, and the monkey, he got drunk, and he sat on the elephant's trunk, and the elephant sneezed, fell down at his knees. That was the end of the monk. And then, one that I liked, a little off color here, but one night in late October, I was feeling far from sober, being kind of tired and wobbly, and my feet began to stutter, so I laid down in the gutter. And a pig came by and laid down at my side. A passing lady said, "You can tell someone who boozes by the company he chooses." And the pig got up and slowly walked away. Now something romantic. Something romantic. You ladies will like this. They strolled down the lane in silence. The sky was studded with stars. They reached the gate together. He lifted up the bars. She neither smiled nor thanked him, for she knew not how. For he was only a farmer boy, and she was a Jersey cow. Humor in poetry. Adolph Oxer was the editor of the New York Times newspaper in the early 1900s, also liked poetry. And he encouraged his readers to send in their favorite poems. And every issue he published of the New York Times, he would publish poetry. But he accumulated all that poetry and tabulated it. And because he liked it so much, he wrote a book of it. And he called the book The Best Loved Poems of the American People. Now, I have many, many, many books of poetry, but this one is the best loved poems, and you can see it's well worn because it's got the best loved poems of the American people.
Oh, wonderful.
So it's a wonderful, and I think it's in the second printing now. There are short poems and there are long poems. I've given you some short ones. One of the most famous long poems, and I'll kind of shorten it a little bit, but it's over 100 years ago. And as I said, poetry covers every subject under the sun. It's about baseball. And usually at picnics sometimes they have ball games going on. But this poem is probably the most famous baseball poem ever written. Anybody have any idea what the name of it is?
Casey at the
Casey at the bat.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Casey at the bat. All right. Let's see it. I'll be brief on this one because it's a long poem. But the outlook was very dismal for the Boston team. There was only an inning left to play. The first guy up flied out. Burroughs did the same. And a sickly pallor came over all the patrons of the game. The last inning, there's only one more out. And Casey proceeds. And so does Jimmy Blake. But Casey hit a single. And Blake tore the cover off the ball. And when the dust had cleared, there was Blakey out at second and Flynn out in third. Then from this audience, a deep roar came up, echoed off the mounds and recoiled, for Casey, mighty Casey, was coming to the bat. Now think about it. They're 2 runs behind. They've got 2 men on base. It's the last inning, and their star batter. Now you don't know this, but Casey led the league in hitting. He was leading the league in home runs. He was leading the league in runs batted in. What a great situation. All it needs 2 runs to tie, and if Casey can hit one out of the ballpark, they win. Aha! Now you see why they're excited, right? A few of those fans were going to leave, but they decided to stay because Casey's at the bat. Well, there was ease in Casey's manner as he stepped up to the plate. There was pride in Casey's bearing. When he responded to the calls of all, he doffed his cap. No stranger could doubt it. And it was Casey at the bat. 10,000 eyes were on him. 10,000 fans shouted. But Casey didn't hear them. He just was paying attention to what he was doing. And then the pitcher threw the ball. But Casey ignored it. And the umpire said, "Strike one." From the benches black with people that went up a ruffle more like the beating of the waves in the stern and distant shore. "Kill him, kill the umpire," shouted someone in the stands. They might have done that had not Casey raised his hand. With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone, he stopped the rising tumult. He bade the game on, he signaled to the pitcher. Once more the spheroid flew. And Casey still ignored it. And the umpire said, "Strike two!" Oh, again, the echo from the multitudes came on high. But Casey put his hand up, and they knew now Casey wouldn't let that ball go by him. Well, we're really down to it now. 2 strikes, 2 men on base. Last inning. What's going to happen? With a smile of Christian charity, great Casey's visage shone. He signaled to the pitcher, and once more the spheroid flew. And Casey took a mighty swing. Oh, somewhere in this favored land, the sun is shining bright. And somewhere bands are laughing, and somewhere children shout. But there is no joy in Mudville. Mighty Casey just struck out. So, that was a popular